big number for the Bangladesh Purchasing Managers Index, or PMI, for August 2025. It's 58.3. So what does this number actually tell us? Well, on its own, it's a pretty good sign, but it's the trend that tells the real story.
And right here, you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Just last month, in July, the economy was expanding at a really strong 61.5. Now, at 58.3, it's still growing for sure, but the pace has clearly slowed down a bit. So the big question is, what's behind this shift? Before we answer that, let's just quickly get on the same page about the tool we're using.
Okay, let's quickly break down what this PMI thing actually is. Think of it like an economic speedometer. It's absolutely essential for seeing which way things are headed. So the Purchasing Managers Index is what's known as a leading indicator. It's not looking in the rearview mirror. It's actually designed to give us a glimpse into the future by surveying hundreds of private companies. And that's exactly why investors and policymakers watch it so closely. And you know what? Reading it is surprisingly simple. It all comes down to the rule of 50. Any number above 50 means the economy is growing. A number below 50 means it's shrinking or contracting. And 50 right on the dot, that just means no change from the month before. Simple, right? So, with that 58.3 number in mind, let's start peeling back the layers. You see, an economy isn't just one single thing. It's made up of all these different sectors. And looking at them one by one, well, that gives us a much more detailed picture. So here we see the two biggest engines of the economy, manufacturing and services. And both are humming along well above that 50-point mark, which shows some really solid expansion. But you'll notice both numbers are down a little from July, and that's what explains the overall slowdown. They're still growing, just not quite as fast. Now, this is where the story gets really interesting. In contrast, take a look at agriculture and construction. Both have dipped below 50. That means after a period of growth, these two crucial sectors have actually started to contract. This is the other half of our story. And to really put that into perspective for you, for manufacturing and services, this slowdown comes after nearly a full year of continuous growth. But for agriculture, this is a big deal. It's a reversal after 10 straight months of expansion. And for construction, wow, that's a particularly tough stumble, slipping back into contraction right after its first ever expansion just last month. So this brings us to the most important question, right? What's actually causing this? Why are some sectors just tapping the brakes while others seem to have hit a wall?
Well, the report points to a couple of key real-world events that are driving these numbers.
And here's our answer, straight from the report's lead analyst, Dr. M. Masroor Riaz. He points to two different things happening. First, the really long monsoon season literally caused disruptions for agriculture and construction. At the same time, a dip in export earnings put the brakes on manufacturing and services. It's a perfect example of how stuff like the weather and global trade can directly impact an economy.
So what's the big takeaway from all this? When we put it all together, what should we be thinking about as we look ahead?
The key thing to remember is that an economy's strength can be pretty fragile. Even with strong manufacturing and service sectors, disruptions in areas like agriculture and construction can really act as a drag on the overall growth. This report is basically a valuable heads-up, a little warning shot that Bangladesh's economic momentum is going to depend on how quickly these foundational sectors can recover from these kinds of shocks. Which brings us to our final thought. With the monsoon season eventually ending and global trade patterns always shifting, the big question becomes, which of these sectors is going to bounce back first? Will construction see a quick recovery, or will manufacturing find a new gear? That's what we'll be watching for in next month's numbers. Thanks for joining me.